The Holocaust functioned as a meticulously planned, industrialized genocide, an engineered system of mass murder executed while the rest of the world watched. The path to this system began in 1918. After losing World War I, Germany faced total economic and emotional collapse. This banknote represents the physical reality of the hyperinflation and massive unemployment that followed. This specific note is valued at 5 billion marks. When currency reaches this level of absurdity, it signals the complete disintegration of the economy, leaving a desperate population searching for a culprit to blame for their ruin. By the early 1920s, hyperinflation and national humiliation had dissolved the German social contract. The public was exhausted, angry, and waiting for any leader who promised to restore order to the chaos. Adolf Hitler filled this vacuum by rising legally through the Nazi Party. He campaigned on a platform of restored national pride and rapid economic recovery. His rhetoric relied on specific conspiracy theories that identified the Jewish population as the cause of Germany's military defeat and its social instability, claiming they secretly manipulated the nation's institutions. The Nazi regime then weaponized every level of society to spread this message. Through radio, films, and school curriculums, citizens were taught that Jews, Roma people, and the disabled were subhuman enemies of the German state. This psychological groundwork is the prerequisite for genocide. Before a state can systematically destroy a people, it must first successfully eradicate their humanity in the minds of the public. After Hitler legally ascended to power in 1933, the state rapidly militarized. The regime suppressed political opponents and dismantled freedom of speech to consolidate total control. The government immediately began the economic isolation of Jewish citizens. They enforced nationwide boycotts of Jewish-owned shops and purged Jewish professionals from their positions as doctors, teachers, and lawyers. The 1935 Nuremberg Laws formalized this discrimination into official state policy. This document provided the bureaucratic framework to strip Jewish people of their citizenship and basic legal rights. These laws provided the protection for organized violence, leading to the 1938 Kristallnacht. Nazi mobs attacked Jewish homes and synagogues, while the police stood by, signaling that the state now sanctioned physical brutality. When a government legally codifies discrimination, it gives its citizens permission to view violence against a minority as a legitimate act of the state. Following the invasion of Poland in 1939, the Nazis began the forced relocation of Jewish communities. Entire populations were compressed into these walled-off ghettos, guarded by barbed wire. Conditions inside these walls were defined by overcrowding and weaponized starvation. Families were forced to survive in an environment where disease was rampant and food was used as a tool of control. Even under the threat of death, victims maintained their dignity through small acts of bravery. Teachers held secret classes for children, musicians performed in hidden rooms, and families gathered to pray. In a system designed to strip away the human spirit, the continuation of education and prayer functions as a powerful form of defiance. In 1941, the Nazi strategy shifted to the final solution. This was the transition from localized containment to the absolute industrialized extermination of European Jews. The regime built a continent-wide network of death camps. Rail lines converged daily on these sites, where families were separated and millions were sent directly into gas chambers. Despite the overwhelming power of the Nazi military, victims fought back. During the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, poorly armed civilians engaged in a desperate battle for their lives, refusing to surrender to the machinery of the state. Outside the ghettos, non-Jewish rescuers, later known as the righteous among the nations, risked public execution to hide Jewish children in basements, churches, and farms. Even at the height of a system dedicated to industrialized death, individual acts of courage proved the human capacity for sacrifice could not be erased. As Allied soldiers liberated the camps in 1944 and 1945, they discovered the physical evidence of the genocide: mass graves, mountains of personal belongings, and emaciated survivors. The world responded through the Nuremberg trials. For the first time, an international court used survivor testimonies and the regime's own documents to hold leaders accountable for systemic atrocities. The sheer scale of the crime required the world to create a new legal category: crimes against humanity, to describe a state-sponsored campaign of mass murder. Survivors left the camps carrying the weight of erased bloodlines, and entire towns emptied of life. The psychological trauma of the Holocaust would impact generations of families for decades. This history demonstrates that ordinary people will participate in or ignore horrific evil when they allow ideology and fear to override their basic empathy for others. The Holocaust serves as a permanent warning that genocide is built on a foundation of dehumanizing language, state propaganda, and the silence of a public that